Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. This is your West Brom Manchester United preview. It's Sunday 2 o'clock kickoff at the Hawthorns. The last time we travelled to the Hawthorns was back in 2017. We won that game 2-1. We've won our last two visits at the Hawthorns. We had that very good game at the Hawthorns back in 2013. It was a 5-5 draw. That was Alex Ferguson's last game in charge of Manchester United. Now, I am expecting us to beat West Brom on Sunday. We've got a good away record. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. The last time we lost away from home in the Premier League was to Liverpool back in January 2020. We are sitting second in the Premier League. We did beat West Brom earlier on this season at Old Trafford 1-0. It was a controversial penalty decision. And obviously there was talks in that game that West Brom should have had a penalty. But we really struggled in the game at Old Trafford. Now, West Brom's current manager is Sam Allardyce. West Brom appointed him in earlier on this season to replace Slaven Bilic, because obviously West Brom sacked Slaven Bilic. West Brom could go down this season. Obviously, West Brom got battered at the Hawthorns by Man City this season, 5-0. They also got battered by Leeds, 5-0 at the Hawthorns. Now, I do know a few of their players. West Brom have obviously got that Grady Diagana. He's out with injury. They've also got that Carlon Grant. They've got Callum Robinson. They've got Matis Pereira. They've got Carnu. They've got that Jake Livermore. They've got Connor Townsend. They've got Conor Gallagher. They've got Branislav Ivanovic. They've got Robert Snodgrass. They've got Kieran Gibbs. They've got Ainsley Maitland-Niles. They brought him in recently. They've got Bartley. Obviously, Sam Johnstone is one of their goalkeepers. He is West Brom's first choice goalkeeper. Don't forget, he used to be at Manchester United. Solskjaer has got some decisions to make for this game. You know, is David De Gea going to go in goal? Or is Dean Henderson going to go in goal? Obviously, Dean Henderson was in goal for the game against West Ham in the FA Cup 5th round. And I think in the games Dean Henderson has played in this season, he has done very well. And I think he's reliable enough now to become our number one goalkeeper. You know, because Dean Henderson has got that experience behind him because he endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield United. And David De Gea, obviously he got criticised, reflecting on the 2 mistakes he made in the 3-3 draw with Everton in our last league game. Effectively, he cost us that game. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has warned David De Gea that his place is not secure at Man United. He says no one's place is safe. They've got to earn their place. But in the last couple of years now, David De Gea has made a lot of calamitous mistakes. But a few years ago, he was regarded as the best goalkeeper in the world. This is his 10th season at Manchester United, so he has been a long servant. We're probably going to go with David De Gea in goal for this one. Is Solskjaer going to start Eric Bailly if he's past fit? Eric Bailly has recently been out with injury. I certainly prefer Eric Bailly to Victor Lindelof. How's Solskjaer going to set up the midfield? Is he going to go over midfield 3? Is he going to go over midfield 4? Is Donny van der Beek going to play any part in this game? Obviously, Paul Pogba isn't available. He's out with a thigh injury for a few weeks, and Paul Pogba is a big miss. So there you go. On my next video, I will be giving you my starting 11 prediction for this game. Obviously, after West Brom, we do play Real Sociedad in the Europa League. The first leg against Real Sociedad is going to be played in Turin due to travel restrictions in Spain. And our next league game after West Brom is Newcastle, and we should be winning that one. So yeah, we did recently beat West Ham 1-0 in the FA Cup 5th round. We progressed to the FA Cup quarter-finals for the 7th consecutive year. Obviously, the goal came from Scott McTominay in extra time. We do know tonight who we're going to be getting in the FA Cup quarter-final. But yeah, I was very, very disappointed that we didn't beat Everton in our last league game. We squandered a 2-goal lead. A lot of Manchester United fans have now disregarded the title. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer made an admission after our 3-3 draw with Everton, and he said we shouldn't be considered as title chasers. Looks very, very imminent now that Manchester City are going to win it. City are 5 points in front of us with a game in hand. But I do think we'll win another title at some point, maybe next season, maybe next couple of seasons, but we haven't won it since 2013. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. Because we haven't won a trophy since 2017. And a club of our stature need to be winning trophies. So like I've mentioned, the FA Cup is a chance of a trophy, and the Europa League is a chance of a trophy. But I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is making very, very good progress at Man United. Like I've said, in recent months, the performances have improved. Players are improving. We was unbeaten in 13 Premier League games in a row until Sheffield United had beaten us. Solskjaer's got us to the FA Cup quarter-finals, which is good. Obviously, Solskjaer wants us to get to the final. He got us to the EFL Cup semi-final this season. Lost that to Man City 2-0. Solskjaer did well last season in his first full season at the club. He got us qualification for the Champions League, got us third, and he guided us to 3 semi-finals. Solskjaer has made good signings as Man United manager. He's spent over £200 million at the club. And he's also got rid of a lot of the deadwood since he got recommended in. I still think there's things that Solskjaer needs to do at the club, like I've mentioned before. He's got to identify his best 11. He's got to give Donny van de Beek more opportunities. Now, after the game against West Ham, Solskjaer disagreed with the criticism of Donny van de Beek, and he praised his performance against West Ham because he did start against West Ham. And like I said, he had some nice touches and he made some good runs in that, but he couldn't really find pockets of space. Mark Hughes actually came out and said that our players don't trust Donny van de Beek. And Solskjaer's obviously got to get his selections right persistently, because there has been a lot of games at Man United where he has been tactically naive, but there's also been some games where he has showed tactical flexibility. You know? And Solskjaer's tried different formations as well since he got appointed in as Man United manager. A lot he's actually gone with that 4-2-3-1 formation. But yeah, so I can assure Solskjaer's going to make changes in this game against West Brom from the 1-0 win against West Ham. In the game against West Ham, he made 6 changes from the 3-3 draw with Everton. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to be given at least another season at Manchester United. This is his second full season at the moment. He's managed over 100 games as Man United manager in all competitions. This game against West Brom will be his 101st Premier League game as a manager. Solskjaer's been Man United manager over 2 years. Like I updated you recently, Man United will wait until the end of the season to begin contract talks with Solskjaer. Says we could offer him a 2-year deal on one condition, and that's if we qualify for the Champions League and keep pushing for the title. Solskjaer has like 16 months left on his current contract. When he got the job permanently back in March 2019, he signed a 3-year contract. Obviously, Solskjaer did very, very well as interim manager for 3 months. That's the main explanation. We give him the job permanently. Now, like I've said to you, this year's summer transfer window is very, very important for Man United, because we do need to make more signings. I've already given you the areas where Man United need to strengthen up. I think we need a striker, we need a midfielder, and we also need a centre-half. Solskjaer did say recently that our summer transfer plans could be affected by the coronavirus pandemic, but despite the pandemic, I'm still expecting us to make signings in the summer. The summer transfer window will be Solskjaer's 5th transfer window as permanent Man United manager. He has endured 4 transfer windows so far as permanent Man United manager. He says we are prepared to smash our transfer record in the summer, maybe on the new centre-half. Ed Woodward is set to hand Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a huge war chest to sign top players in all areas. And Woodward's got to back him in the summer, because I don't think Solskjaer's been backed enough by the board so far. It was a disappointing January transfer window for us, because we only saw one arrival, and that was Amad Diallo Traore. I don't think it'll be too long now until we see him in the first team squad. He's already made 2 appearances for the under-23s and he's done very, very well. We got him at Dilo Traore in a deal worth 37 million, with add-ons included. We paid £19 million up front. But Solskjaer did say, didn't he, a few times during the January transfer window that he wasn't expecting any signings. During the January transfer window, we was focusing a lot more on the outgoings rather than the incomings. We saw a few players depart the club in January. We obviously saw Lingard go out on loan to West Ham. We saw Rojo go. We loaned Tiedemann Mengi out. Odi Nagalo said his farewells to the club. And we saw Timothy Fosu-Mensah go. And I think in the summer, more players will leave Manchester United. He said the other week we was willing to let 8 players go to complete our squad overhaul, and 4 of them players are actually now out on loan. But like I've said, for us to be genuine title contenders, we need to make more signings. We've got to also start beating some of the big teams as well, because we have struggled against the top 6 in the Premier League this season. Obviously, we lost 6-1 to Tottenham. We drew 0-0 with City, we drew 0-0 with Chelsea, we drew 0-0 with Arsenal, we drew 0-0 with Liverpool, we drew 2-2 with Leicester. And people say you've got to beat the big teams, or at least some of the big teams in the league, if you are to be genuine title contenders. Now, this morning, I did give you the news on Jadon Sancho. According to reports in Germany, Borussia Dortmund could sell up to 8 players in the summer to raise funds. Jadon Sancho is 90% likely to leave Borussia Dortmund in the summer. And Dortmund recently reduced their asking price for Sancho to £88 million. Because Dortmund were obviously relying on Jadon Sancho's sale. Jadon Sancho was our number 1 priority target last summer. But Dortmund's valuation was £108 million. And we was not willing to meet that valuation. But it said a few times last summer that the personal terms had been agreed and the agent fees had been agreed and even a contract had been agreed, but the actual fee was the stumbling block. Dortmund made it clear to us last summer that we had until the 10th of August to sign the player. We obviously missed out on that deadline. Fabrizio Romano, who's a very reliable Italian journalist, he's spoken a lot about the Sancho saga, and so too has Bill's Christian Falk. Earlier on this season, Sancho made an admission saying that he has endured a difficult season at Dortmund, but he was happy to be back among the goals. There's a few players that they have put on that selling list, Sancho's on it, can't remember them all, Jude Bellingham's also on it, and Erling Haaland's on it. This is Sancho's 4th season at Dortmund. Analysing the vast majority of his career with them, he's been very consistent. He's got a contract with Dortmund until 2023. Dortmund paid just £8 million for him from Man City back in 2017. It said quite a few weeks ago that if we was to fail to sign Jadon Sancho again, we would attempt to sign Ousmane Dembele from Barcelona. Now, the news on Sergio Ramos from Real Madrid. Now, Fabrizio Romano denies that we've made contact with Sergio Ramos's agent. But recent narratives have said that Sergio Ramos wants to come to Manchester United, and he recently rejected a 2-year contract offer from Real Madrid, and it actually said his agent will fly to England to finalise a 2-year deal which could be worth £200,000 a week. He's obviously going to be available on a free transfer in the summer. Sergio Ramos has been a long-serving player at Real Madrid. He's been with them, 16 years? He's made 668 appearances in all competitions, and he scored 100 goals, or just over 100 goals. He's won 22 major honours at Real Madrid. Real Madrid got him from Sevilla back in 2005. They paid €27 million. If was to get him, he'd only be short term anyway, but he'd still go very, very well alongside Harry Maguire in our back line. Ramos is the age of 34. Dayot Upamecano to Man United is off because it does say that we are no longer in the race. Chelsea, Liverpool and Bayern Munich are battling it out for him. It did say earlier on this season that Bayern Munich were regarded as the favourites to get Upamecano. Upamecano is available for £38 million at the end of this season, because that's when his release clause does become active. Last year, he signed a new contract with RB Leipzig until 2023. Leipzig paid €10 million for him from Red Bull Salzburg. But a new centre-half is a priority for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. There's still rumours going on, by the way, regarding Declan Rice. I'd definitely take Declan Rice at Manchester United. Declan Rice is well proven in the Premier League. He gets forward well, he can keep the ball well, he breaks up the play well. He's predominantly a holding midfielder, but he can also be put as a centre-half, Declan Rice. He's been at West Ham for several years. He's got a contract with West Ham until 2024. There's also an option to extend his contract for a further 12 months. It was saying from ESPN earlier on this season that we were set to rival Chelsea for Rice, and then obviously it said West Ham are considering lowering their asking price to £50 million for Rice. Initially, West Ham value him at around £80 million. He's only very, very young, so he's still got a lot of development in him. You know what I mean? But like I say, it's just very, very good that we are now seeing consistency under Solskjaer, because we didn't see consistency for a long time. And reflecting how long Solskjaer's been with us, he's gained some managerial experience now, which is good. Man United is the third club in his managerial career. Before he was with us, he was at Molde. He won a few Norwegian titles at Molde. They're not a big club. And before he was at Molde, he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. But whether he succeeds or not as manager, will still always adore Solskjaer, because at the end of the day, he is a club legend. He was a great player for the football club for 11 years. He flourished under Sir Alex Ferguson's guidance. I think we've made quite a lot of mistakes since Ferguson retired, and that's probably one of the main explanations why we was so inconsistent for so long. 3 managers have been sacked since Ferguson. That was Moyes, sacked him after 10 months, sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years despite him winning the FA Cup, and we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years despite him winning 3 trophies in his first season. And we haven't really got the structure to keep sacking managers, and we're not even really known as a sacking football club anyway. But I have been saying in recent months that, Solskjaer is bringing the old Man United back. Reflects on the good performances. We've come from behind in a lot of games this season as well. We used to come from behind a lot under the Sir Alex Ferguson era. You know, Ferguson endured 27 years with us, won a total of 38 major honours, including 13 Premier League titles. Well, I think it was 38, or was it just under 38? But he won a lot. But Ferguson didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at the club. So no one's going to achieve what Ferguson achieved at Man United, or no manager in general is going to do that. I think we've got some very, very good players. And I can assure that our current squad, as it stands, is good enough to finish at least in the top 4. We will finish in the top 4 this season. I'm very, very sceptical we'll finish out of the top 4. But, you know, you've got Marcus Rashford, that's a very, very good player. You know, Rashford is a player that can get good runs in behind. He can create chances. He can score goals. But sometimes Rashford can be poor as well. You know, will he play in this game against West Brom, or will he be given a rest? But when Rashford's poor, you know, he gets in front of goal and his decision-making's poor, his passing is poor, and his finishing is poor. We just need to keep Marcus Rashford out wide because that's where he's more effective. On the left, that is, because I think he's much better on the left than he is on the right, and I don't think he's great centrally. Rashford has been a United player since the age of 7, and he's been in our senior squad since 2016. You know, Edison Cavani, he's made a fantastic impact since he's come in. I like the way Edison Cavani holds up the play. His movement in and out of the box is good. He creates chances and he also scores goals. I can assure Edison Cavani will see out his contract with Man United. You know, we got him on a free transfer last summer on deadline day. He signed a 1-year contract with an option of a 2nd year. And to be honest with you, I think he's overtaken Martial now, or will overtake Martial if he hasn't already. He's our new number 9, I'd say, even though he wears the number 7 shirt. Mason Greenwood, you know, he's done very, very well recently, but still hasn't managed to get his name on the score sheet. But recently, Mason Greenwood's been making very, very good runs in behind on that right. He can cross the ball well and he can also create chances. Solskjaer's been defending Mason Greenwood a lot this season. You know, Bruno Fernandez, he's also an exceptional player. He's our best player and he's the best signing we have made since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. On Bruno Fernandez's 12-month anniversary at the club, he did say that he's planning on spending many years at Man United. In most of his games at Man United, he has been very, very consistent. There's been a few games though where he has looked off the pace. Bruno Fernandez denies that he needs a rest because he wants to help the club win trophies. He won Player of the Month for December, but he's won that now quite a few times, reflecting on his good performances. It recently said we are 3 months into contract talks with Bruno Fernandez, and then it actually mentioned that contract talks had stalled. Fernandez's current contract with us expires in 2025. There's an option of a further year. We initially paid £47 million for Fernandez, but the overall cost with add-ons must be just over £67 million. Predominantly plays as a number 10. You know, Donny van der Beek, I think when he's played, he's done very, very good. But like I said, Donny van der Beek needs to get more chances. You know, he's only started 2 games in the league for us, and that was Southampton and West Ham. So most of his appearances come from the bench. You know, we got Donny van der Beek in a deal worth £40 million. We paid £35 million up front and there was £5 million in add-ons, and he's under contract with us until 2025. Van der Beek can play in like 3 different roles. You can put him as a box-to-box midfielder, which was his predominant position at Ajax. You can put him as a number 10 and you can also put him out wide. But yeah, ESPN said during the January transfer window that we rejected several loan offers for Donny van der Beek, who was basically blocking him from leaving. You know, Paul Pogba, like I said, I've been very, very impressed with him. like I said, he's going to be a miss. The vast majority of Paul Pogba's performances have been very, very good since he came back from that ankle injury that he did have earlier on this season. Earlier on today, I give you the news on Pogba. There's 3 clubs that want him, and that's PSG, Real Madrid, and his former club Juventus. Like I said, Fred's really, really improving as a Man United player. Luke Shaw, he's also really, really improving. And Wan-Bissaka, he's also really, really improving. So yeah, so on my next video, I will be giving you my starting 11 prediction for this game. I presume Solskjaer's press conference will be coming up tomorrow ahead of this game. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon. Thanks for watching.